Hello and glad to have you join us on another episode of Energy and You. The program brings you developments within the energy sector, showcasing the activities of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited. I'm Egusa Igumbo. On the show today, NNPC Limited signs MOU with petrochemical company Indorama to deepen Nigeria's gas utilization strategy. And the Nigerian oil company sets the record straight, addresses key concerns in OVH Acquisition. Plus, state-of-the-art facilities in NNPC's healthcare business unveiled as services are set for full HMO operations, including the latest on the war on crude oil theft. Details of these and more shortly. Stay with us. In line with NNPC Limited's commitment and drive for organizational renewal, anchored on business imperatives, standards of excellence, people development, and strengthening companies' competencies and capabilities through broad-based leadership exposures, the company has announced a new set of appointments of senior management for the position of Executive Vice Presidents. They are Adedakpo A. Shegun, formerly Chief Finance and Investor Relations Officer, to Executive Vice President Downstream. Orishemeyiwa A. Eyesan, formerly Chief Strategy and Sustainability Officer, now Executive Vice President Upstream. And Olalekon O. Ogunleye, formerly Deputy Managing Director at Nigeria LNG Limited, now Executive Vice President Gas, Power and New Energy. Their appointments are with immediate effect. Nigeria is continuously building strategic partnerships across board to strengthen its capacity to harness the nation's abundant gas resources. This is evident by the recent collaboration between NNPC Limited and Indorama Petrochemicals Limited. Both companies signed a memorandum of understanding for collaboration across the entire hydrocarbon value chain.
The coming together of industry players in this setting forged a partnership between NNPC Limited and Indorama Petrochemicals Limited, a leading global petrochemical company. A memorandum of understanding was signed by the parties, which will be a tool to harness Nigeria's abundant gas resources and revamp the midstream industry. Group CEO NNPC Limited, Mr. Mele Kyari, described the historic move on gasification project as a threshold for making value out of gas beyond imagination.
When Mr. President said, find gas for Indorama, we had no difficulty with coming up with a solution. We will partner with Indorama so that we sweat the upstream assets and also produce the gas and go down the chain and create the midstream facilities. They are very practical, and we are happy of the commitments of Indorama that they are out to invest at least $7 billion on this project short term, and perhaps this will open more gateway for us to do more business with you and with others.
Pledging the company's unwavering commitment to the project's success, Mr. Kyari noted the additional benefits the partnership promises to bring economically, which is projected to contribute about $3 billion annually to Nigeria's GDP. The project also stands to generate a lifetime government revenue of up to $18 billion and bring environmental benefits, which aligns with the global transition to cleaner energy sources. In a similar note, Indorama's Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Africa, Mr. Manish Mundra, emphasized the strategic importance of the collaboration, which not only addresses upstream gas production, but also focuses on downstream value creation.
What we are going to do is, while we are working together on gas resources, what we are going to do is also partner the downstream and invest in at least 2 more lines of fertilizer, 2 lines of methanol, and 1 big petrochemical project besides the condensate refinery and other pipeline infrastructure, what we are going to do.
Mr. Mundra lauded the visionary leadership of Mr. Kyari and the long-standing partnership between Indorama and NNPC Limited, which spans over 16 years. He expressed optimism at the success of the partnership. The team lead for the project, the Chief Investment Officer, NNPC Upstream Investment Management Services, Mr. Balawunti, provided an overview of the collaborative efforts between NNPC Limited and Indorama on the gas expansion project.
The scope of the project involves delivery of gas, which will require us to do some drilling and development activities. It will require us to emplace a very robust gas delivery infrastructure through pipeline, but most importantly, it will also incorporate a liquid management solution in the form of condensate refinery.
With the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, the relationship is set to revolutionize the country's gas industry and petrochemicals. This will enhance Nigeria's strength to become a major producer of urea, ammonia, methanol, and petrochemical polymers. The historic partnership on the negasification project is a new era of collaboration between NNPC Limited and Indorama, paving way for a positive impact on the nation's economy, energy sector, and industrial growth.
Time for news trending on the global energy space this week. Nigeria's National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure and the Rural Electrification Agency have agreed to work together to deploy solar resources and other renewable energy technologies to increase electricity supply to Nigeria's rural areas. The overall goal is to facilitate the federal government's ambition to achieve the electrification of the country's rural areas in record time. Oil prices rose for a third straight session at the start of the week, buoyed by forecasts of a widening supply deficit in the fourth quarter, after Saudi Arabia and Russia extended cuts, and by optimism about a recovery in demand in China. Brent crude futures rose 71 cents to $94.64 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were at $91.55 a barrel. That's up 78 cents. Saudi Arabia and Russia extended supply cuts to the end of the year as part of OPEC Plus group's plans. Chinese refineries have also ramped up output, driven by strong export margins. Time to bring you an update on the gains recorded by NNPC Limited in the war on crude oil theft. Take a look.
Across the Niger Delta, the war on crude oil theft is on, and the industry-wide security collaboration continues to record remarkable progress. Between the 9th to 15th of September 2023, a total of 234 incidents were recorded in several oil-producing states in the Niger Delta. In the past week, 54 illegal connections to major pipelines were uncovered in various locations in OGHE Egbema in Imo State, Sambari and Egorobiri in Rivers State, and Obodo Omadino in Delta State. Mostly found underground, the illegal connections are attached to major pipelines.
This is a portion at Obiafo 21.
43 cases of pipeline vandalism were recorded in the past week. Here is a picture of a vandalized wellhead in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, in Obodo Omadino in Delta State. A boat is seen collecting crude oil directly from a vandalized wellhead. At Egorobiri Creek, hoses and pipes used in stealing crude oil were recovered in Rivers State. This week, 78 illegal refining businesses were destroyed. In Iba, Rivers State, it's the end of the road for the owner of this illegal refinery surrounded by oil pits. Several illegal refineries were also destroyed in other locations in Rivers, Delta, and Bayelsa State, as locally fabricated tanks used for illegal refining are torn down. Here, an abandoned drum at an illegal refinery pollutes the environment further. In OGHE Egbema in Imo State, a drum used for refining stolen crude is set for destruction. At this illegal refinery in Samkiri River State and in Warri, Drums of freshly refined diesel were also discovered. 5 cases of oil spills were recorded in Ahoda and Gukana in Rivers State, while 9 vessel AIS infractions were recorded and 3 vessels arrested. 42 wooden boats conveying stolen crude were arrested in Ibeno in Akwa Ibom State, Koko, Mereje, Obodo Omadino in Delta State, and Bolo in Rivers State. For NNPC Limited, there is no backing down on the war on crude oil theft until the menace is eradicated for good.
Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, has appeared before the House of Representatives ad hoc committee on OVH Energy Acquisition in Abuja. The purpose of the meeting was to address the concerns raised over the acquisition of OVH Energy by NNPC Limited in October 2022.
The GCEO gave an overview of the strategic rationale behind the acquisition, which he said was aimed at expanding NNPC's downstream operations and enhancing energy security, as the acquisition has created synergies and efficiencies in the supply chain, logistics and marketing of petroleum products nationwide, while emphasizing the company's commitment to transparency, accountability and stakeholder engagement.
We saw the opportunity to acquire this asset and add to our portfolio so that we can meet first the requirement of the law the National Assembly was supposed to guarantee. Now we are in control of over 30% of the market in the downstream by this acquisition. Combined, we have 320 company-owned dealer-operated assets in the company today, a combination of NNPC Retail and the OVH Acquisition. We have 619 dealer-owned, dealer-operated assets, a total of over 939 fuel stations that are now different from what you used to know. Now you are seeing them across the country. We are completing the branding. Nigerians trust this, that Nigerians will have choice. Nigerians will not be exploited. We will be the market balancer. We will create the stability of pricing. We will not exploit Nigeria because they are company.
The GCEO also highlighted the regulatory approvals and due diligence processes that preceded and accompanied the acquisition, which he says were thorough, transparent, and involved stakeholders. He assured the committee that the acquisition followed all relevant laws, regulations, and policies of the Nigerian government. However, some members of the committee required more detailed information on the terms and conditions of the acquisition and the expectations for the future performance of the company. Further clarifications and assurances were provided by the company's GCEO, who stated that the acquisition was a strategic and long-term investment for NNPC's growth and sustainability, as well as energy security for the country. The chairman of the ad hoc committee on OVH Acquisition, Honorable Abubakar Nalaraba, expressed satisfaction on the presentation of the GCEO NNPC Limited and called for further dialogue and collaboration.
We listened very attentively to your presentations, and I believe some of us, or most of us, are in the clearer picture of what actually transpired between the process of acquisition of OVH by NNPC Limited. We would love to pay an oversight visit to those assets because it's part of our mandate. So the committee will be glad to visit those assets and to take stock and inventory before we submit our final report.
The engagement of NNPC Limited and the ad hoc committee on OVH Energy Acquisition of the House of Representatives provided an opportunity for both sides to exchange views and information, demonstrated NNPC's strategic rationale, due diligence, and compliance with regulatory frameworks, as well as its willingness to address any issues or feedback from stakeholders in its businesses.
Following its rebirth to a CAMA entity, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, has re-strategized its operations across all business chains. This is to meet up with stakeholders' expectations and raise its standards to conform with the aspirations of being a dynamic energy company of choice. For a better understanding of its new trajectory of the company, we bring you a special Unbundling Series showcasing the uniqueness of operations across NNPC's businesses. The first in our Unbundling Series focuses on NNPC's health medical services. Take a look.
As part of NNPC Limited's revenue diversification agenda, NNPC Health Maintenance Organization Limited was set up in 2016 as a private health insurance company to achieve universal health coverage. With health plans designed with a deep understanding of the needs of the oil and gas industry, other sectors, and the public, NNPC HMO Limited over the years became an accredited national health maintenance organization that offers excellent health insurance services and ensures accessibility to quality health care to the Nigerian populace through our customer-focused products and a vast network of providers. We offer private health insurance, social health insurance, third-party administration, occupational health, and disease management programs.
Effectively, we started our business in January 2020, and by end of 2020, we had a modest enrollment growth of about 2,000 clients. And between then and now, actually, we have grown exponentially. One unique selling point of the NNPC HMO is the occupational health service that we provide. Before we came in, I don't think there is any HMO that provides occupational health service, but because of our experience and knowledge in the industry, so as soon as we came in, we said, okay, occupational health is going to be part of the services that we provide, especially to our clients who happens to be, corporate entities. I'm happy to say that we have added a lot of value by coming in to the health insurance space.
With a mandate to develop strategic and commercially viable medical insurance plans and maintain effective client relationship, we have recorded an enrollment growth rate of 4,101% from 2,711 enrollees in 2020 to 113,892 in 2023. In the last 9 months alone, between October 2022 and June 2023, we recorded an increase from 75,412 enrollees in the fourth quarter of 2022 to 113,892 enrollees and counting in the second quarter of 2023. Our growth trajectory reflects a substantial surge in demand and interest in NNPC Limited's HMO. Our exponential increase over the span of just 3 years highlights our ability to attract and accommodate a significantly larger client body.
We have also brought something very, very fundamental, and that is transparency and accountability. Before we came in, there were a lot of complaints from so many organizations about their dealings with HMOs. HMOs would receive premiums on but instead of paying capitation to providers or fee for service promptly, they withhold such funds, and then at the end of the day, providers, will now deny enrollees access because the excuse is your HMOs have not paid. And so when we came in, we said, okay, one of our key performance indicators is prompt claim settlement. And we commit that within maximum of 6 weeks, if you submit your invoice, we will be able to pay you. And I'm happy to say that with all the innovations, the IT that came in. Now we can be able to pay within 2-3 weeks.
For starters, we are spread across the country. We have a network of providers, and we also have a 24 hours customer service center, of which our enrollees can call at any time of the day and night, and will be attended to.
Present across the country's 6 geopolitical zones, we boast of over 800 healthcare providers within our coverage. Our remarkable success is attributed to our HMO's exceptional focus on customer satisfaction and retention, as evidenced by our 100% client retention rate.
One good thing that stands out, is the kind of hospitals that are involved. They have in their own scheme. Almost all the best hospitals that you can think of in Abuja, they are in the scheme. And the staff is at liberty to choose the hospital he wants to go. You know, sometimes this medical issue is not only the medical care that you receive. Sometimes the psychology, you are psychologically to feel that you are at home with one particular hospital or one particular doctor. It also helps, in the healing process. So the kind of hospital they have in their scheme, I think is quite good, and it stands out.
IMS certified in a combination of 3 ISO standards in quality, environmental management systems, and occupational health and safety, we are committed to the implementation of the ISO standards in all business operation processes and procedures for effectiveness and continual improvement. To further cement our presence in Nigeria's health insurance landscape, which underscores NNPC Limited's appeal, effectiveness, and potential for further development in Nigeria's health sector.
NNPC Limited. Energy for today, energy for tomorrow.
On our feedback segment today, we'll talk about safety, more especially in the petrol or gas stations. Now, good appliance and installation standards are essential for safety. While regulations are in place to prevent hazards in filling stations, it's important to make sure that our businesses at the service stations are conducted in a safe manner. You are probably already aware that smoking is prohibited in service stations to prevent fires and explosions. We visited fuel and gas stations to know more and the level of compliance.
Our fire extinguishers are close to us. They are always nearby. Where once there's anything that has to do with fire, we quickly arrest it, and we train our attendant on, more on quarterly basis as regards that. And then also we have our sand buckets. When once there's a spillage, that one we use it to control spillage. If there's unnecessary pouring of the product on the ground, we make sure our attendant absorb it, clean it properly to avoid static and spark. And we do not allow cluster, vehicles being clustered around the pump island while dispersing.
One of the basic safety tips we ensure that no customer goes to the filling platform. So because of that, we provided an industrial scale that weighs in your cylinder when you come, and then after it's filled, it is also weighed out for you to confirm what you paid for, to ensure that you got absolute value for what you paid for. And then our muster point is also very, very open and closed. In case there's any emergency, we just lead them to the muster point.
Some of the safety tips and the compliance level, like when you're serving a customer, you ask them to turn off their engine in order not to cause maybe a fire breakout or stuff like that. And also, when a customer we are to serve a customer, we don't allow them to take a call. Some of the customers, they do comply to the safety distance. So, like when you tell some of them to turn off their engines, they do comply. And some, when their phone rings, you ask them not to take the call, and they also comply to that as well.
When you serve customers, in case if the car you refuse to start, don't allow the customer to open bonnet in the pump aisle because it's not safe. You make sure you push the vehicle out of the canopy.
Like on this platform, we don't allow iron-to-iron contact in any way. We must make sure that all the cylinders are not jamming together. And while filling the gas for customer, we first of all test the integrity of the cylinder, that the cylinder is safe and there's no leakage. If there's any leakage of any foam, we advise the customer. Either if the cylinder is updated, or change the cylinder, or you change if there is the leakage on the valve of your cylinder, we advise you to change the valve. But in case you are using the cylinder immediately, in that case we can allow you to use, because it's your regulator. When you plug the regulator, it will regulate the dispensing of the gas, and it will be safe. But in any case, they are going to keep some customers keep theirs. They have like 2 to 3 cylinders, and they keep some for reserve and be using one. So anyone that you are keeping for reserve, we don't allow you to feed it while it's leaking, because if you keep it in the house, it will be escaping the house, and the gas will be filled in the house. If there's any spark in the house, they will ignite fire. So we don't allow any customer to feed gas. We don't feed any gas for customer that's when there's leakage on the cylinder.
And that's how we wrap up the show this week. Let's do this again next week. But remember, you can catch up on all other episodes of Energy and You by scanning the QR code on your screen now. Do visit us on all our social media handles and follow us for updates on the activities of NNPC Limited. I'm Egosa Igumbo. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.